Among these moors, the three Bronte sisters, Charlotte, Emily and Anne, found the inspiration for their world-famous romantic, dramatic novels. Each summer, the members of Cheadle and Gatley Cine Club enjoy an outing, usually to a place of special interest. In 1983, we went to Howarth to seek the story behind the novels of the Bronte sisters. By mid-morning, all are gathered on the lawn of the Bronte parsonage, except one. Where on earth is he? Maybe he's got stuck somewhere. At last he's made it. Now we can all move on. Howarth is a pretty village perched astride a hill just south of the Yorkshire Dales. Naturally, club members have brought their cameras, and this film is the result of a collective effort. Situated some 4 miles from Keighley and 10 miles from Bradford, Howarth has grown little since the Brontes lived here 150 years ago. Today, visitors come here in their thousands, young and old, and Howarth seeks to please them with a multicoloured mantle of commercial attraction. Yet, behind the glossy coat, there is a different village. Let us therefore go back in time and try to revisit the Howarth the Brontes knew. Occasional reminders exist of an era before motor cars and coaches. Then it was a time of great hardship in the north. Now these quiet streets no longer reflect the poverty, nor echo to the sound of riot. Nearby Leeds was labelled the dirtiest town in England, and Howarth's sanitation was so bad that an official health inquiry was held. 150 years ago, the average lifespan of a man living here was less than 20 years. Tuberculosis and typhoid ravaged the youth of Howarth. The graveyard was quickly filled to overflowing, and the threat of disease lurked all around. Stones innocently laid flat over the graves stopped the vital process of decomposition. Orders to stop new burials were ignored, and at the nearby parsonage, the Bronte family, unknowing, continued to draw their water from an infested well deep among the graves. Unaware of this hidden danger, and away from the more obvious sewers, the parsonage was a haven for the Bronte sisters. Soon their escapist fantasies took flight, as they sought solace within the isolation of the family.
My home is humble and unattractive to strangers, but to me it contains what I shall find nowhere else in the world, the profound, intense affection which brothers and sisters feel from childhood.
Charlotte's heartfelt words speak for all of them. There was Anne, the youngest, quiet and gentle, Emily, the philosopher and realist, and Charlotte herself, the romantic with a lifelong yearning for passion, all seen here in this painting by their brother Branwell. They caught the magic of books and poems from their father, a vicar from Ireland, and from their mother, but she died when young. The three sisters and Branwell were soon creating stories about make-believe lands with names like Vedopolis, Glasstown and Gondal. These childhood fantasies, which included maps, continued well into their early 20s. Their natural leader was Charlotte, oldest and least frail of the three girl writers. She was also the most successful teacher and at one time was mistress of the local school. Her first book, The Professor, was at first a failure, but her second, the story of plain, proud Jane Eyre, fighting for her integrity against a cold world, quickly won praise from great people like Thackeray and Queen Victoria. Yet, away from Howarth, she always yearned for
that wild wind, unremitting from hour to hour, deepening its tone as night advances, not in gusts, but with a rapid, gathering, stormy swell.
Charlotte published two other books, Shirley, about Luddite machine wreckers, and Villette, about a teaching trip to Brussels. Without too much enthusiasm, she drifted into marriage with an Irish curate.
I am very calm, very inexpectant. It is a solemn and strange and perilous thing for a woman to become a wife.
Even this marriage certificate denied her the great love she yearned for. She had loved only one man, the husband of her one-time employer in Brussels. Charlotte died only 9 months after her wedding, still unfulfilled. Yet at 38 she had outlived Emily and Anne. Emily, described by Charlotte as unsophisticated with a secret power and fire, was the real poet of the three. She provided the substance of the sisters' first publication, a joint book of poems, using pseudonyms based on their real initials. Dark and serious, Emily's only novel, Wuthering Heights, about the gypsy Heathcliff of hate and something too furious to be called love, was too fierce for Victorians. It frightened even Charlotte, who knew well its inspiration.
Emily loved the moors. She found in the bleak solitude many delights. Not the least and best loved was liberty. Liberty was the breath of Emily's nostrils. Without it she perished.
And the danger which lurked unseen in the graveyard caught up with Emily at her prime. Still only 30 years old, she died of tuberculosis, and knew nothing of the fame which her books would bring.
Riches I hold in light esteem, and love I laugh to scorn, and lust of fame was but a dream that vanished with the morn.
Anne, slight, delicate, earnest, also died at an early age. Anne's inspiration came not so much from the drama of the high moors, but from the simpler things, like flowers, trees, fields and farms. Yet Anne was no dreamer.
That wind is from the north, I know it well. No other breeze could have so wireless well.
Anne published 2 novels, Agnes Grey, a quiet picture of the horrors of a governess's life, and The Tenant of Wildfell Hall, about a drunkard's downfall, shades perhaps of Brother Branwell. The spectre of Branwell lurked behind all the sisters. Poor, tortured, brilliant Branwell. He tried writing, he studied painting, and began to win praise. He was certainly a scholar, but judged against his sisters, he was a failure. He couldn't settle. His childhood daydreams got the better of him, and he immersed himself in drugs and drink, lurching down to the Black Bull before tuberculosis claimed him too. What then remains of the Brontes world for us now to see? There are many examples of their minuscule childhood handwriting, which has a typical, inward, secretive feel, all its own. And there are paintings by all of them, from Emily and her pets to Branwell's vital family portraits and Charlotte's watercolours. But most revealing of all is the parsonage itself, a public museum for 50 years. The building, seen by a constant flow of tourists today, is larger than when the Brontes lived here, though Charlotte altered several rooms with her earnings as a writer. Inside, much of the Brontes' furniture is still here, and the parlour is still predominantly crimson. Outside, the changes are greater. This screen of gloomy trees was planted after the Brontes. They looked out directly over the graveyard. And only the tower of their old church remains, though they themselves still lie in the family vault. Their servants are here too. In the sunlight today, the whole mood of the graveyard is lighter. But it's among the hills, more than anywhere, that the Bronte spirit lives on. Towards the end of our day in Howarth, we climbed out of the village to linger amid their beloved moors. And if we listen on the wind, we can hear Charlotte and Emily's voice.
The scenery of these hills is not romantic. It is scarcely striking. Mills and scattered cottages chase romance from these valleys. It is only higher up, deep amongst the ridges of the moors, that the imagination can find rest.
The night is darkening round me, the wild winds coldly blow, but a tyrant's spell has bound me, and I cannot go.
The first words of Charlotte's Jane Eyre reflect the moorland's mood.
There was no possibility of taking a walk that day. Since dinner the cold winter wind had brought clouds so sombre, rain so penetrating, that further outdoor exercise was out of the question.
Our rendezvous with the Brontes is over, and we shall return through the moorland mists of time back to the timely sunshine of today in Howarth. It is a village alive with the quaintness of the past. No wonder that still its narrow streets are filled with tourists.